We tend to think of storytelling as an innate and profoundly human art, a way of creating, interacting, and connecting through stories that has continuously evolved through new tools and various forms of expression. Today, however, with the rapid development of artificial intelligence, storytelling and our understanding of it is undergoing perhaps its most profound transformation yet. AI is transforming who can produce narratives, how they are produced, and how they influence public discourse. To talk about this, we are welcoming a very special guest today, Hashem Al-Ghaili. Hashem is a science communicator, producer, and filmmaker. Originally a molecular biologist, he shares his passion for science on, among others, his Facebook page. His videos have been viewed over 21 billion times, and they have inspired hundreds of thousands of people across the globe. My name is Emna Chauch, and this is Echoes of Europecom, the European podcast on public communication. Hashem Al-Ghaili, welcome to this podcast series. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So we're together today to discuss about the topic of AI and storytelling. You're a science communicator, a producer, a filmmaker, and basically all of your work is about bridging science, emerging technologies, and visual storytelling. I want to emphasize on the fact that you have a Facebook page that has been existing for many years now, and you've gathered more than 35 million followers. You also have other social media, but that page specifically is really gathering many, many people on which you share simple and yet very powerful videos that you create yourself sometimes, and it's making a huge impact when it comes to educating people on certain topics in science, among others. Is that right?
Correct. That's correct.
Cool.
I started in 2008.
It's been a long time already that you're into this topic of technologies and AI. So I want to deep dive now into a few questions together to investigate on AI, storytelling, what are the impacts on society, on public communication, and what can we do, what do we need to pay attention to, etc. So the first question that I have for you, Hashem, is in your work, you combine visual storytelling with science and technology, like we said. How is AI, artificial intelligence, transforming storytelling in your opinion? And here I'm really talking about two different things. On one hand, there's the opportunities that AI is creating, namely to make complex topics such as scientific ones, for instance, more accessible to broad audiences. So what are the opportunities on one hand? And on the other hand, since we're talking and we're addressing mostly public communicators here, what can they learn from that? But considering that they have constraints such as legal, regulatory constraints, we know about GDPR, copywriting, AI Act, etc. So how is it transforming? What are the opportunities, and what can public communicators learn from that?
That's a very important question. Now, previously, I had a big team helping me with creating the content. And with the emergence of AI, the team has been shrinking to 2 or 3 people maximum, basically. And AI has facilitated a lot of things. For example, creating the content is much faster and more efficient. In terms of resources, it's much cheaper. And also in terms of delivering materials, it's faster and easier. And the quality has moved up. I mean, previously, if you want to make a single infographic, you would hire somebody. It would take forever to make a very cool infographic, and it would cost a lot. Now you can build an AI tool by yourself and have it make that infographic for you right away. And you can make tons and tons of them. And also the quality check. For example, my work relies on scientific content. And as a science communicator, you want to be responsible when sharing that type of content. You don't want AI hallucinations to enter into the content and then you start spreading misinformation. So you could use AI tools to actually double check everything, because now these tools have deep research that allows you to already confirm that, what you are providing is accurate and valid. And so it has been helping with almost everything, with images, infographics, voiceover generation, music generation, especially for music generation, which previously I was using music from stock libraries, but the problem with these soundtracks is that they are registered on different platforms, and when you use them, you get flagged. Your content gets flagged.
Yeah.
But I now generate it with AI, and they don't get flagged because they are new. Also, it has been incredibly helpful with video generation, and so it's making the content much better, and I'm seeing the engagement is incredible. I was actually just checking, and in the last 30 days, we had just on Instagram alone more than 300 million views, which is amazing, and a lot of AI has been involved in that.
Yeah, that's
as
incredible.
For constraints and copyrights and all of that. Look, AI is a tool, all right? It's there to provide you a meaningful experience depending on how you use it. A lot of people might still try to resort to copyrighted stuff and whatnot, but it's a tool where you are only limited by your imagination, and you can create literally anything, whether it's music or videos or images or infographics. So, you need to put effort into that to avoid copyright problems and constraints. Now, if the communicators are in Europe, then definitely there are a lot of constraints there. But outside Europe, it has been widely adopted and embraced.
So you're speaking of a tool. Indeed, it's a tool. And we see that that tool is creating, for example, very realistic, but still artificial videos. But it's incredible how realistic they look. And
Correct.
Just like you just said, it's raising ethical challenges sometimes if it's misused. And the risk that I could see here is the creation of misinformation. You just said it. Also, it's important to not do that. Also, especially if we're communicating science content, for instance, things like that. So how would you say we need or we can maintain authenticity, consent, trust, especially trust for public communicators is extremely important. How do you approach that in your own work?
Well, first of all, be responsible. This is something that innately comes in you as a communicator, is to be responsible. You're not going to publish something that is fake. You generate an image and you say, here it's something, you present it as a reality, whether it's an image or a video. That's part of your responsibility. And second thing, social media platforms are now introducing a flag, all right, where you can disclose that this is AI generated. If it's AI generated, just click on it, and so that people will know that it's fully AI generated. My motto now is that everything is AI generated until it's proven otherwise.
Wow.
This is when it comes to certain recent videos that come from Sora and from.
Can you explain what Sora is, maybe for those who don't know it?
Sora is a video generator that belongs to the creator of ChatGPT, OpenAI. And they have their own independent app where you can, just write a prompt and it will do everything, editing, all of that. And it spits out a fully generated AI video that looks incredibly realistic. And before I determine that this video is real and start sharing it as a real thing, I look at different AI artifacts that still exist. If you look really carefully, you can still identify them. So before hitting the share button, whether it's to a large group of audience, followers, or on a family WhatsApp group, you really need to confirm that this is AI or not. Nowadays, they have these AI detectors, but at some point, in some places they fail to do that. But you're right. It has reached a level of realism where it's being used a lot by scammers even.
Yeah. Can you give us one example, one very concrete example of an artifact that the human eye can still spot, or the human intelligence how can, like, I'm thinking of recent videos that I've seen, for instance, on your Instagram profile. We can even recreate history, you know, like recreate movies from the past, voices from the past, people, personas from the past. How can we be educated enough or smart enough or critical thinking enough to spot the artifact?
Well, I mean, these videos are generally 10 seconds long. So if the video is really long and it just keeps on delivering, it's going on and on, especially if it's a single shot, then it's very unlikely that's actually AI. Second, if there is a lot of movement, you can see still some morphing in some areas. Also, a lot of video generators do not give you the highest resolution right away. So you need to do a step, creators do a step which is called upscaling. You upscale the video.
Yeah.
And when the video is being upscaled, the elements that are in the background can appear distorted and not really as what you would see in real life. The voices in many of these videos still feel like they were recorded on having cans, and we just tie them with a string and we just talking.
Yeah.
Right. That's how the voices still feel in some of these videos.
Right.
For long scenes, you would see in some videos that the voice of the same person or character is switching. It's not consistent. That tells you it's AI. So there are still some giveaways, of course. For how long? I mean, in the future, things are going to be different.
Yeah, but, sure. It's going to keep on evolving. So watermarks, what do you think of that? Is that something helpful to spot an AI-generated video?
Well, when it comes to watermarks, you have two things. One, the visible watermarks, like when you generate a video with Sora, you have a watermark, which is Sora, and it's moving between the screen, changing its location. But there are tools to remove it now. And then there is Google, and they have their own invisible watermark that they can detect with their own tools. Yeah. The one that is public right now is the one for images. So if there is an image that was generated with AI, you can upload it to Google, and it will tell you that this was generated with Nano Banana, which is their own image model.
Yeah.
And for videos, they are probably going to release something like that. But in the end, there are so many video generators from different companies. Not all of them share the same vision of putting an invisible watermark. So, that's an issue. Because if Google will be able to detect their own videos, but they won't be able to detect other videos.
Yeah.
So,
is that something that you would encourage? The usage of watermarks?
Honestly, I would encourage more than watermarks, actually teaching people how to detect what's AI and what's not.
Yeah.
Because watermarks, there is always a way around these watermarks, to be honest.
So you're encouraging education, basically, and critical thinking.
Definitely more important than any watermark.
Yeah. Well, again, since we're talking about public communicators here mostly, and we're addressing them, something that's very important for them is public engagement. You also engage very much your audience through your videos and the education that you provide on science, among others. How do we strengthen this public engagement using those new technologies, but also keeping the human, authentic connection when it comes to storytelling?
So there are a number of ways. I'm sure a lot of these people are also using ChatGPT or Gemini to make content. One of the things that I do is to increase public engagement. For example, let's talk about content-wise. You can download insights and analytics from social media platforms, whether it's Meta or TikTok or Google, and you can download insights for a year or 2 years or 5 years, down the line. You can download a lot of insights. Then you take them to AI and you ask the AI to tell you what are the most engaging types of content that you actually receive more engagement for, so that you can focus on more of such content. And when you focus on such content, you can see from the numbers and the trends that these are the things that people engage with most of the time. And you can even ask the AI to recommend you topics that are similar to this. topics that are engaging, and I found this to be really helpful all the time. Sometimes you can repurpose old content in new styles using these tools, in ways that people have not seen before. I mean, they understand, they know the information, but they have not seen it in a new style. And these tools can help you deliver that new style. Mm-hmm. Like what I'm experimenting these days with animated style. Yeah. And another way is you can use it to really help you craft questions and polls and other types of content that you did not think about before. I see the way I package my content, mm-hmm. and its engagement before AI and after AI, it's vastly different.
Oh, really?
And the engagement, absolutely. And the engagement is much better. And it helps you find ways around algorithmic changes.
Yeah.
Because algorithms are always changing. AI can understand AI, right? Mm-hmm. So, mm-hmm. You get all that information from your previous content and use AI to decode new tricks that can be used to improve engagement in general.
So that's very interesting, because this is one strategy that is purely algorithmic and technological, let's say. And it's very interesting that you say you see a clear difference between before using and after using that. You also create and produce films, and you wrote a novel that does involve human storytelling. Like storytelling is something that has been existing forever. So what are also the techniques that you combine with algorithmic and technological tricks or strategies? What are the human storytelling things that you keep on using, or you would recommend using again to strengthen this public engagement?
I mean, when it comes to writing, I feel like you still need the human part a lot in that. So let's break down the process very quickly. Mm-hmm. Okay. When I make a film with AI, and I don't call them AI generated as much as I call them AI assisted, because mm-hmm. AI is assisting me to make them. Yeah. I'm not automating the entire process. Yeah. So what's happening is, first of all, I have an idea by human, and I know where the idea is heading. So I have a conversation with a chatbot to refine and polish the idea. But in the end, it's my idea. Yeah. Then I continue to refine it through extended conversations until I'm very happy with it. And I turn it into a screenplay with AI. But that screenplay doesn't have the dialogue. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Because the dialogue will be written by me. And this is where it's different than traditional filmmaking. And instead of having everything already written, I write the dialogue as I build the scenes. Yeah? Because sometimes you want to change things. And once I write the dialogue, I also have AI polish it if there are some words that could be changed or something like that. So in terms of story, it's not there, to create something really incredible. It's going to be generic and everything, but if you are in control of the process, you can add that human touch and emotional, something with an emotional depth and resonance. Yeah. Then it comes to generating the characters with image generators, generating the different camera angles as a filmmaker would do, generating all of the shots, and also crafting the music. For example, once I'm done with everything, I give the script to a chatbot and I tell it, I need music suitable for these different scenes. And then it gives me different options for each scene, and I listen to them to see which one, as a viewer who's a human, would feel more attached to and would feel that this one is better for the scene. If it's all automated, honestly, it's going to be just a cluster of different things slapped together, and that make absolutely no meaningful experience. So I still attach that human experience or that human touch into every part of the process of making any of my AI assisted films.
I like what you said about it's AI assisted and not generated. So we're still the humans are still the main and the first prompts.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have with a lot of people, is that when they see the word AI attached to a film or anything, they think that AI generated the whole thing.
Yeah.
And in the end of my films, I often write created by Hashem Al-Ghaili.
Yeah.
And the comments, no, you did not created anything. AI did. Right. Okay.
No, you were assisted. Yeah. You've mentioned ChatGPT at some point. I want to touch point just on this one quickly, and that will be almost the end of our conversation. But we see there are many studies that have been led already. They're pointing a change in behavior based on the over-reliance on tools such as ChatGPT. So that's what we're talking about. Instead of being assisted, we're replacing humans with that type of technologies. And there is a change in behavior as a consequence of that. So what are the risks, in your opinion, of over-reliance maybe, and the absence leading to an absence of lived human experience?
I mean, I remember that study which said that fewer and fewer brain regions are being activated when you are using a chatbot compared to actually,
definitely
working with it rather than over relying on it. And they did these brain scans that showed which areas of the brain are affected. And that's definitely alarming. In the end, AI is just a tool to help us. It's an augmentation tool. It's not a replacement.
Yeah.
We need to educate people to still rely on their own sense of judgment and their own knowledge and their own things to try to get information about things they don't know, rather than literally everything. I mean, honestly, I'm guilty as charged as well, because sometimes I notice that I use it for the simplest spelling. The simplest spelling errors to be fixed, or sometimes I'm like really just too lazy. I mean, take an example, for example. When you type something, writing something makes it more memorable than typing it.
Sure.
And typing something makes it more memorable than actually taking the image of a screenshot and asking chatbot, extract the text from this image.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
But in the end, we're looking also for efficiency.
Yeah.
In time is money, and we want to save some time. But there should be a right balance when it comes to AI usage, regardless whether you are an end consumer or whether you are someone who uses it for communication. Yeah. When it comes to writing scripts for the science videos, I still read every script after it's written by an AI chatbot. I give it the sources of information, it writes, and then I read everything to make sure that, first of all, it follows science according to the source, and two, there is a human language in there, and it's not too robotic that the viewer would feel alienated and just wants to stop watching the video.
Yeah.
So, you need that human. It's a collaboration. It's a collaboration between two entities. We can call AI entity probably at this point. Yeah. So AI and humans.
Yeah. And that leads me to the last question that I would like to ask you, Hashem. So AI really has the power to shape narratives. It's more and more widely distributed, but therefore it also has the power to distort narratives. So we want to ensure transparency, accountability. You said it yourself. It's about being innately responsible. When it comes to the institutional world right now, we want to spark a constructive debate on this topic and continue the conversation just like we've had you and I right now, instead of leading to potential more misinformation or polarization. So what's next, according to you, for the institutional world in order to spark this constructive debate?
Well, I mean, you most likely would need to bring in AI developers with decision makers to find common grounds. In the end, you don't want too much regulation that would limit innovation, and you don't want too much relaxation that you would, end up having it in the hands of people who should not have it. So it's really, it needs to be a constructive, continuous dialogue between the developers and the decision makers.
That sounds like a really good first direction for institutional public communicators to get started with. Hire AI developers and have decisions taken together, summarizing also on what you said. So really having those two entities, AI assisting humans in order to keep on creating beautiful stories and raise public engagement. So thank you so much, Hashem, for this super good and interesting and enriching conversation on AI and storytelling. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with? One last word, one last message?
Yes, there is a lot of resistance towards AI, and people think it's cool to be among the people who resist AI. History shows that technology is moving forward, whether you like it or not. So it is time to embrace AI and to give it a chance. And maybe you will like it. All right. Maybe you will not like it. But all this constant bashing and, trying to make yourself look cool by joining a specific club that is anti-AI, it's not going to help you in the end.
Got it. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hashem Al-Ghaili. Once again, thank you for this beautiful conversation on AI and storytelling. We wish you the best with what's to come in terms of filmmaking and videos and novel. We'll keep on following your adventures, and thank you very much for sharing your experience and inspiration for public communicators.
Thank you so much.
For our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Echoes of EuropeCom. If you like this episode, feel free to share it with your network. Thank you for joining in, and until next time. This is a podcast series of the European Committee of the Regions. For more information on EuropeCom, please visit the website cor.europa.eu.